Hello, everybody. It's Janet and Jason with your weekly human design energy report. And Jason has his wand ready because
we have been so bad, Janet. We have been so bad.
You've been bad. I talk to people all the time. Actually, it's not Jason.
We're so sorry we haven't done one of these in 2 weeks, but it's been the holiday craziness and Mercury's retrograde, and I have a stomach virus, so this is fun.
Yeah. Poor Jason.
Death, doom, disaster. But that aside, I'm glad to be back with you. Are you having good weather out there? We're having medium over here in New York.
I'm having sunshine today, but apparently we're in for snow tomorrow.
Oh, great.
Yeah, great, because no one here knows how to behave in the snow, except how to play in it. We know how to play in it, but we don't know what to do with it, as in how to drive.
Oh.
But it's going to be a long weekend, so hopefully the snow is gone by Monday or Tuesday, because I think everybody's off Monday, and we won't have to deal with it. In any case, I don't have to deal with it because I can stay home.
Yes, you can. And, you know, I very rarely hear, and I mean, you correct me if I'm wrong, but you never hear a friend of yours say, while they're talking to you and they're on the phone in the car, oh, that person drives so well. Oh, that person's driving the perfect speed for me. He's not going too slow or too fast. I have yet in my 48 years of fucking existence heard anybody that, I'm so glad to be with this person on the road. They're an excellent driver.
I've never said that myself.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Tell me what's happening with the loveliness that we're in store for Christmas. New Year's Eve.
Yeah, because the new week begins on New Year's Eve. Funny enough, new week, New Year's Eve. And we move out of the Christmas week, which was joy, right? Joy. And we move to gate 38, which is the fight. Here we go again, right? The fight. The energy in the fight has been through Mercury. It's been through Venus. And now we are sitting with it in the sun. And in the sun that, you know, maybe we should define what fight is about. It's not like we are designed to fight with one another. It's about
you obviously weren't born into a Greek home. Yeah.
No brothers in my house. No brothers, just two sisters. And we did fight. I had a lot of scratches on my arms growing up from my little sister, who used her nails as if she were some kind of lion cub. Yeah. True story. I have scars everywhere. But there was one time, my little sister and I, and this is totally off the subject, but it's funny, we were fighting over a pair of scissors.
Of course.
Now, let me give you a visual. Here's a pair of scissors.
Oh, my.
I had the handle end of the scissors. She grabbed the point end of the scissors and proceeded to play tug of war with me, with the scissors, telling me she wanted them. And I said, okay, let go. She went, stabbed herself, right, it was really like right here, right between the eyes with the scissors.
Oh my God.
And who fucking got in trouble?
You did.
Me. I'm like, really? Seriously? She was fighting with me over the scissors and all I did was capitulate, gave them to her. But I still got in trouble. She did sort of too, but anyway, she luckily missed her eye.
You gave her a dot.
She had a tika right here.
Awesome.
That taught her never to pull the scissors out of her sister's hand again.
Hello.
I thought it was fitting considering all of the scars I was wearing from the scratches she gave me over time.
I'm sure every therapist in the world is going to look at this and go, well, maybe she should reach out to me on that.
So literally, I'm not talking about that kind of fight. That's more like a cat fight. Not really the kind of fight we're talking about. But in human design, we're talking about the fight that we have to get heard or to bring our ideas out into the world or to struggle almost for, in fact, struggles at the other end of 38, gate 28, to bring something out, to make a change. So remember how we were talking about in the last radio shows about how Jupiter's been opposing Uranus, and so we've had this energy of revolution going on.
Correct.
Sparks and, weird experiences in the outer world. Well, in reality, the fight is going to take this, and we are going to have to learn what's worth fighting for, right? If there's a revolution brewing, what in that revolution is worth fighting for? And we each have our own part in this. And the Earth isn't very helpful this week because she's in the gate of provocation, gate 39, which comes up off the, both of these come up off the, well, off the root center, right? Gate 38 is heading up toward the spleen, and a gate 39 is heading up toward the emotional, the solar plexus. So they're at opposite ends of the root center. So we have fight and provocation. Wonderful. So I think the best thing that I can tell people with this energy in this coming week is to mind your words. And that's even more important because Mercury retrograde is going to move into gate 10, which is the gate where we can either lovingly empower one another, or we can slice and dice and become the verbal gunslinger with our words. So this is a cautionary week, I believe. You know, if we're going to open up into a new year, let's open up to a new heart, a new way of being with one another, a new way of communicating with one another. And oh, by the way, we are often talking to ourselves in worse ways than we would ever think of talking to anybody else. So I'm going to bring it on home for people. Yeah, I'm going to bring it on home and say, okay, make maybe a resolution to talk to yourself in a different way, right? Maybe provoke a sort of revolution from within that allows more love, more compassion, more self-love, self-worth, and in a way let that radiate out to the world around you. So it's going to be an interesting week. My high point in all of this, and the people that my cosmology class, they'll know that we're getting ready to move back into a 9th day, which sets for a positive 18-day period of time. So I see that this can be the becoming more conscious of how we talk with one another, how we interrelate, and how we choose what we're going to fight for, what we're going to stand for, right? Does that make sense?
Big time delineation there between being, you know, argumentative and aggressive as opposed to sticking one's ground, being present and staying in your skin without reacting, which I get from you all the time as a manifesting, no, as a true generator. That's right, I want to be a manifesting generator, but I'm not. As a true generator, you know, to not react, to not let Mercury allow me to be its bitch, which I won't lie. This Mercury has done a number between having car issue again, between getting sick. Yeah, remember that like 2 weeks ago when it was in that shadow period you were telling me about on astrology? Okay, living dot astrology thing? Well, car did the same thing. I mean, it got fixed, but it's just like, ah! And when you think of
so annoying.
Just this week, Janet, how many readings I've had that have had to be reworked, I didn't even ask you, have you had, yeah. I've had all these readings this week that I had, okay, can you do just 15 times before settling on it? Cancellations, people not talking to each other, people not reading names. You got to tell people, give them I'm going to give them the abbreviated version. Poor Janet gets an email from somebody very close to her.
This is on Facebook.
On Facebook, excuse me. And the person that was working at this, you know, elderly healthcare place didn't look at the dying and or dead body on the gurney, misread the name, and then contacted the wrong family. I mean, I feel terrible. I'm only laughing out of nerves. But, I mean, could you imagine that feeling like when you lose your keys or your wallet and your heart, everything, your butt, everything just, and you're like, imagine that. Like, oh, by the way, mom's dead. Psych. And
I'm calling your sister, who isn't really your sister, to tell them that you're here.
Yeah. That's incredible. That's just a perfect example, like you said, of something that has to do with Mercury and everything else. So you know what? Let's switch things around on you. Hit me with Mercury first in the human design thing.
Well, Mercury in the human design chart this week goes into gate 10, which is that gate that we were talking about as the verbal gunslinger, or the ability to empower someone with beautiful words. So it's a communication deal because it comes up off of the G center, which is the yellow diamond. If you have to find, it's the identity, the seat of the soul. And so from the soul, if you're speaking from the soul, of course, you're speaking more from a place of empowerment, or empowered yourself. You are seeking to help empower others. But sometimes it can be that Slicing and dicing, word swords.
But what I guess because I don't really know, and that's why we have these conversations, is when Mercury is in retrograde, when a planet is in retrograde, and it, with respects to human design, does that mean it's I mean, we know what it means in astrology. Okay, we got it. But what does it mean in human design? Does it affect it differently or no? Mercury's Mercury.
No. Mercury's Mercury, but what it's doing is backing, it goes forward over a couple of different gates, and then it's going to back over those couple of gates, and then it's going to go forward over them one more time before it moves on to the next set of gates.
It's sort of like when you run over a small child or animal and you want to make sure it's dead, so you go back, and then, oh yeah, just up, wait, and go.
Da-dump, da-dump. Okay, no, it's not like that, in as much as it is about emphasizing certain key energies, right? What is it that we're really focusing on? Well, it would appear that we are focusing, I'm looking down at my 2016 ephemeris, which I'm ready to transition to my 2017 ephemeris. But for right now, as Mercury went retrograde on December 19th, we have gone through a very quick, brief, one-day ambition and drive and enlightenment, an ambition and drive toward enlightenment, which then it backtracked and went back to the gate of fight, which is where the sun is this week. And then it moved into the gate of joy, where the sun was last week. And now it is going to move us into gate 10. Wow, I actually have to switch to the next book for January. It switches to gate 10. And then, let's see, it goes direct on January 9th. So then it's going to go back forward across gate 10, and then into gate 58, the gate of joy, and then back into gate 38, the gate of the fight. And then it is actually going to hit gate 54 again, which begins our hero's journey toward enlightenment. So as it relates to Mercury. So you see, we've had these hits about these energies over the last, over these few weeks because of Mercury's retrograde. So it's a little different. I mean, in a regular astrology chart, you're seeing it hit a span of degrees in the zodiac. In human design, you're actually seeing it hit different gates. So some people who don't normally have access to gate 10, for example, suddenly have it defined in their chart. So if you're not someone who normally has the need to empower or slice and dice people with your words, you may suddenly find yourself in verbal battles or in a position of being able to empower someone through the words that you say.
I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, it's so good to hear this because with my own personal situation, especially with sometimes, with family, I'm not going to bullshit you, with my sister, who I adore, I could just feel everything amping up. And I have to keep thinking to myself, shut your fucking mouth, Jason. Shut your mouth.
If you can't say something nice, don't say it at all.
Somebody say, darling, if you can't say something nice, compliment their teeth. All of a sudden I'm sitting here and I'm sitting by the window, and I'm not going to turn the computer around because it's gray, but it is for the first time coming down in buckets of snow.
Woo! Good job!
This is nice. I mean, I'm not crazy after the snow and it turns brown and all that other bullshit, but this is very pretty.
It's always pretty at first, isn't it?
So if you had to summate for me with regards to the Mercury, just be careful of how you direct that fight.
Yeah, because remember, we have fight, we have provocation, and then we have this verbal gunslinging potential with those, with Mother Earth, with the sun, and then with Mercury, the first three planets that, we think of in terms of our personal energy. So, let provocation be something that moves you to do something out of love. Let the fight be something that is a worthwhile cause, a pro something as opposed to an against something. And let the words that flow out of your mouth, if they're not going to be nice and they're not going to be empowering, zip your lip.
Say something about their teeth.
Yeah, say something about their teeth.
All right, talk to me about the heavy hitters, the masculine and feminine energies, which if anybody has been paying attention to my radio show and anybody's been listening to Janet, which you better be doing, on Wednesdays and Thursdays, the last couple cards, mine is the 4 p.m. Pacific, and hers is mine is the, 7 p.m. Eastern, for the blog talk radio series that Janet does on Thursday. So that was last night. That was a lot of fun. She did a retrospective. And mine on Wednesday was for the Emperor card. I hope that you all join in with us. And Janet, of course, they all know that they can get a human design chart from you, correct? Yep. And which one, what are you doing on the astrology right now? I haven't checked your webpage out in about a week or two. Which charts are you helping people out with?
The Jupiter and Libra chart still. And a human design chart and a free natal chart, because some people don't even know what their astrology chart looks like. So I offer them a free copy of their chart. So
Very nice.
What's going on with you? What's up with your website? Are you still working on it?
I refuse to give anything away for free these days. I'm being very frugal. No, they can go to my website, which I'm still tweaking, at www.titillatingtarot. That's one word. Titillating Tarot with Jason Livanis. It's a long word, but hey, I got the domain cheap.
That's the most important thing.
Titillating Tarot with JasonLivanis.com. You can contact me there. I haven't gotten Janet's page up yet, but you're going to be able to click on hers as well, and we can double dong you. No, let me try that again. We can both hit you up. And so that's how you can find all that stuff. So masculine and feminine energies have been all around in the cards lately, and so we have our sun and we have our earth. In astrology, is one masculine and feminine?
The sun is masculine, and the moon is feminine, and the earth is feminine.
Hit me with your rhythm stick. No, let me try that again. Hit me with your gates and or planets for the sun and the earth this week.
Gate 38 is the sun, the gate of the fight, and the earth is at...
I thought that was Mercury. Sorry, got it wrong.
Yeah, and the earth is at 39, gate of provocation.
Right, okay.
Mercury is at 10.
Do we get any relief with Venus?
Venus is in a lovely place.
Great. So we have all this shit happening on one end. And then?
Well, you know, Venus is doing something interesting this week, now that you bring up Venus. Venus starts out the week in gate 30, which is the gate of wants and desires. Not sexual desire, but, you know, I want something really badly, right? Or I desire fame, fortune, whatever. So she begins the week in that gate, and it's a very intense gate. And whenever a planet sits there in someone's chart, it ramps up all of the energy in that chart. So when something's transiting through it, it also ramps up that energy. But then it shifts from I want to the gate of abundance, gate 55, which is a money flow, an abundance flow. You know how this week when we were doing your human design coaching, I said to you that we don't create abundance, that we accept it, right? Or we tap into it.
The biggest epiphany. That is the biggest metaphysical epiphany I have heard from forever. Please stress this point to make them understand that assholes like myself who are constantly forcing things. I got to force it. I'm going to, yeah.
No need to force. All you need to do is accept or allow or tap into whatever words you say. I actually wrote a post on that this week on my Facebook page for Live by Human Design, which you're a member of. You should have gotten notification of, but you know, Facebook, who knows who gets to hear what I say.
I've been in the bathroom for...
That's true, you have been.
I haven't even checked.
You got skipped.
I haven't checked anything technical. I swear to God, when I'm feeling like this, technology's like, no.
Yeah, last thing you want to get in. But there's an important point here in that Venus, of course, is our relationship to people and those around us, the world around us, in fact. And as she moves into gate 55, it starts to put focus then on the idea of abundance and our birthright of abundance, which is not something that we have to gain or something that we have to earn. It is there, and all we have to do is accept it. So it's interesting that we get a little bit of validation in the form of Venus in Aquarius, is which sign she's in, for this coming week about, and as we start the new year, because what are we all doing? We're all setting resolutions or, determining how we're going to enter into the new year. And a lot of time it's about our finances. It's about, the things that we want to create in our lives. So create abundance by accepting it. You don't create it. It's already there. It's like this invisible stream that we're a part of. Ooh, an Aquarius, the water bearer, always a stream of energy that's right there. All we have to do is accept it. And by the way, that visualization that I took you through, I actually posted it as well to the group yesterday. Thank you to The Grace Factor, written by Alan Cohen, for that wonderful visualization, because I think it tells the story so well, right? There's this bowl, and you are just filling it with energy of abundance that's already there. So that's our bright spot this week, is Venus, and that idea of what are we...
For all of the viewers out there, because you're so mesmerizing, I do not want your mesmerizing qualities to overshine this very important message. So we're going to say it simply so that everyone can get it, because, folks, it is big. I remember one time, Janet, I was down south in Virginia, and I never thought I'd see the most important bit of logic and profound thinking on the bumper sticker of some redneck tobacco chewing, gun toting.
Chew tobacco, chew
It
tobacco,
was
chew tobacco.
fascinating. I'll never forget. It said, if nothing changes, comma, nothing changes.
Mm.
And that was a thing that stuck out in my life. When I was having this human design with you, you said this thing, and it was like everything around me cracked. And you said very simply, you don't create abundance. You accept it. It was like Monty Python. My head opened up unhinged, and my brains blew straight the fuck out. I was like, so that idea is so zen, is so energetically passive and wonderful, at the same time being energetically active, because in order to allow this accepting, you have to give it some effort to allow that.
Yeah, but there's another key there, because you just said effort. There is no real effort in it. It's there.
Oh yeah? I don't know about you, Sensei, but some of us have to put a lot of effort into not fucking ourselves over, into not, into not, shooting ourselves in the foot.
Okay, so the effort isn't in creating the abundance. The effort is in becoming conscious to its already being in your life. It's already being accessible and accepting that it's there.
And getting out of your own way. This whole idea.
Getting out of your own way.
What's
What's interesting is right after I told you that, later that day, or maybe it was the next morning, I was reading in the book Initiation, which, of course, Jason is the one who turned me on to this book. And it was the chapter where they're talking about the 12 pairs of opposites, and the chapter before that where they're starting to talk about consciousness and being conscious at all times of what's happening around you and being in that moment. So it made perfect sense to me, is that, we have this coin. On one side is lack, and on the other side then has to be prosperity, right? Because they're opposites, and we live in this dual universe. And all we have to do is project the opposite from within to outside of us, right? So I didn't want to bring this up yet, because I want to reread those chapters a couple more times till I get it solidified. So people just remind me, and I'll bring it up next week or the week after next, after I reread this, because I really think there's something here, some little juicy nugget tidbit thing that actually takes that idea of we don't create abundance, we accept it, to the next level.
Ooh.
So stay tuned.
I like that. And, just to repeat that for everybody that didn't hear it go by at 90 miles an hour, and we can have another conversation about this, because our human design thing is going to get to be like 3 hours today. But Initiation by Elizabeth Hickox. The book is about this big. Janet said I didn't need to warn her, but for all of you guys, all of you testosterone-based dudes, get through the first 100 pages. The 100 pages to me was like watching paint dry. Janet liked it. For some
I
reason,
loved it.
it had some girly girl appeal. For me, but the first 100 pages for us guys is backstory. That all of a sudden, click, right past that, then you know why she was giving you all this backstory.
Yeah.
It is one of the books that has been a pillar in my metaphysical development, and so I wish it on everybody out there, and I'm glad that, Janet, you're enjoying it. Do I need to know anything about Jupiter or Saturn this week?
Well, why don't we pull a card for the Sun and Earth first, and let's see if we can set the stage, you know,
Okay.
and then we'll go into the deeper, darker recesses of the outer planets.
All right, so I'm going to pull one card for, you said the Sun, which was fight?
Fight. Is it going to be the Dick and Balls guy?
No, well, there's some Dick and Balls, but it's not the same Dick and Balls. We like to change it up here at the House of Livanis.
Oh, okay.
I'm using my own personal, like every tarot person, by the way, I don't know whether you know this. This is like a deep, dark secret. Every tarot person has the pretty deck that's kind of new that he reads his clients with, and then he has his own deck for the down and dirty, for himself, for the family. So maybe these are all shitty, these cards, but it's what I felt like getting today. So
hold it up so I could change the view so everybody can see it. The Prince of Wands. He's having a good time.
Well, look, you see the Prince of Wands. I'm going to bring it down. You see, what is he standing on?
Looks like he's standing on a rope or a bar.
Or the wand. And then you see these cock and balls, cock and balls. And then we see, you see
he's doing a fire thing.
He is balancing on this wand. He is not completely aflame. He's just got little brush fires or bush fires. Anyway, this is the card of internal struggle, of fight.
Oh, okay.
Oh, making some of your own problems, figuring out which one, balancing on that. Oh, do I open my mouth and fuck everything up? Oh, do I? So that's what this card signifies. So it doesn't say that it's all for naught. It doesn't say total destruction, but it does mean that for whatever reason, the Sun is in this place of fight to bring up some growth, some learning within you, so that you can figure out, hey, I'm going to stand up for this cause, or whatever it might be. It's about personal growth on that level. And the oith.
The oith?
It was in provocation.
She's in gate 39, provocation off the lower right side of the root center.
This is a message for all of my men out there. You said root center? Yeah. So you see me very often with my little wand and or scepter. Uh-huh. Look at the card that we picked for this week.
The Emperor. The subject of your radio show this week.
Okay. Now, what did I say to you about this card when it goes wrong?
Tyranny.
People, you want to fuck things up, go right on ahead, because I can assure you that when you do it, it will be epic. It will, it will be grand. It will be formidable. It will be literally, because this is the card of advice, you can damage your friends and loved ones.
Hold on. Keep the card there because I'm going to make it bigger. Raise it up just a titch. There you go. The Emperor in all his glory.
I am, and I'm telling you, this is the card that says if you screw up, you're going to screw up in an epic way. Not like a little, but put you this way.
No little faux pas, your mother's dead, come and get her kind of thing?
When I see that card, when I hear this kind of energy, I very often do couples readings and couples therapy. And when one of the people in the relationship is not doing their personal work, is not getting their needs met, what I often find is that goes underground, subversive, and after 20 years of marriage, the husband, I'll use a different word. What the husband after 20 years of marriage wants to say to the wife is, honey, would you please pass the butter? But what comes out of his mouth is, you miserable, you ruined my life. Like, please pass the butter? How did that? And that's what happens. So I'm telling you folks.
Mark's gone awry.
Mark your words.
Yeah. Yeah. Stay conscious.
Give it to me now. Talk to me. Saturn and Jupiter, those two lovely, lovely planets.
Well, you know, they don't move very often. Saturn or Jupiter is still sitting at gate 32. She just moved recently, actually, to gate 32, which is the gate where we take ambition and drive, and we start weeding through what we really want and, you know, what things we actually are going to take action on. It hooks up into the spleen. So something interesting always happens with gate 32, and it is where we sometimes can fear failure. That, you know, we have this ambition or this idea, and we're putting it out there, and we're afraid to put it out there almost because we're afraid to fail. But I've really noticed something interesting lately about that gate. What if it isn't about the fear of failure?
Excuse you.
It's that bean dip I was eating. What if it's not the gate of, or the fear of failure as much as the fear of success?
I got a different take on it.
Well, let's hear your take, baby.
Card's a little messed up.
Whoa. Okay, let me make you bigger.
I love when I hear that from you.
Seven of discs.
What you see in there? Is it a bright, happy card?
No, it looks pretty darn dark. But there's little flames and little lights in the darkness.
Yes, right here. They're little balls.
Cobwebs.
They're balls. They're spheres. It is a 7 of discs. This is the card in my deck for hidden shit and secrets.
Oh.
Now turn your interpretation with that knowledge around. You do the work for me.
Well, I don't know. To me, that's sort of like maybe hidden self-sabotaging behaviors
that you need to start looking at so that you can throw out some old shit, adopt some new ideology, go forward. That's the card of doing your internal work. That's the card when I do couples reading, I'm like, oh, he's cheating on you. You know, shit like that. Yeah.
Now, isn't that interesting? Because Jupiter's in a long-term transit opposing Uranus right now, which is, I think it's revolutionary, but it's also revelatory. Revelatory?
Revelatory, yes.
Where, you know, things come out into the open and get exposed. You know, we're sort of sitting with that for a long time, and it makes me really wonder about the time between now and the inauguration and what things may come to light about what's been going on behind the scenes, et cetera, you know, hidden motivations, et cetera, et cetera. Saturn is the place then we can look and see what is the punishment, what is the lesson that we're learning here, and it's in the gate.
Oh, that was Jupiter. That was Jupiter you gave me?
That was Jupiter.
Got it.
So Saturn in this case is at gate 26, the gate of integrity. Being true to oneself is what I think of when I think of integrity. But there's also a sense, you know, sometimes it's we call it the gate of the trickster, right? What's going on behind the scenes that's going to come out and bite you in the butt when you least expect it? Like, you know, passing the butter, wanting to pass the butter, but instead this other, you know, thing that's been left unsaid comes out. And it can make for some really interesting dynamics. I think on the conscious level, I think we're ready to start dealing with this. I think we're ready to put a voice to what's authentic for us. Ooh, what's that? I like that card. The Star? Is that what that says?
Correct. Should I call it?
She's beautiful.
Direct me, you know, Janet, when we're doing this, direct me closer, and I'll do it so that you can see it clearly.
You're fine. Right there is perfect.
Tell me what you see in this card, madam.
I see a beautiful star and falling stars, and I see this beautiful woman who's reaching for the stars.
She's holding the star. And
oh, yeah, she's holding the star.
And what's going on
here? Come over this way just a bit. Yeah, right there.
And what is she doing?
Is she levitating?
No, she's sitting on the ground. She's standing on the ground. She's holding on to that star, and there's a beam going down to that beautiful flower on the earth.
Yeah, it's like Mother Nature kind of shining light into dark places, maybe, or into...
You're always so fucking nice. I love you. Tell her what she could have won, Don Pardo. This is the card. This is that card that's very much like the moon card. Sometimes it'll say, as in heaven, so below. But I'm not going to go there today. What this card says is A star is a star and a flower is a flower. Stop projecting your shit and trying to say that one thing is the other. This is a card of
calling a spade kind of thing?
This is a card of delusion. This is a card of getting rid of that goes in with that secret card. You think that, you know, this has been happening with this situation, but in fact, wake up. This is what's happening because of your thoughts. This is what's happening because of your actions. This is not your wonderful pantheonic ideal of your husband. He's a cheating bastard. Whatever it is, it says you cannot make chicken soup out of chicken shit. If you do,
it'll taste nasty.
Nasty. So
interesting. That's just really kind of interesting because, you know, the idea of integrity versus the trickster, right? That kind of plays into all of that. The other thing I was thinking of when you said that was the planet Neptune. And Neptune is sitting at gate 37. It has been for a long time. Gate 37 is the gate of friendship and harmony and peace. And what better way than to have the truth before you, as opposed to the secrets hidden from you.
Agreed.
Yeah, Neptune, the planet of delusion, illusion.
All right. Because this is going on for 5 hours, I'd like to hit one more topic before we say au revoir. Because
all right.
I'm going to have to leave you in about 5 to 10 minutes.
If you catch my drift, is that what you're saying?
Exactly. But I want to know for this illustrious, since people will be watching this before Nueva Yearzo, what's up for New Year's Eve?
You mean for?
On the actual New Year's Eve, is there anything that besides these understandings, is there anything that shifts on New Year's Eve? Is there anything you need us to know about New Year's Eve or New Year's Day?
New Year's Eve is the first day of this new week. So that's where the sun shifts out of joy and into fight.
This whole fucking reading then is about New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve until January 4th, through January 4th. So the first part of the whole year is here.
Yay! All right. Now we got it. I think everyone's clear now. Batten down the hatches. Close your mouth.
You know, not from fear either. From a sense of being at peace. Right? How do you want to show up in the world?
Okay.
How do you want to show up? Who do you want to be? Do you want to be your true self? Do you want to be
I want to be Rock Hudson, but not the end of Rock.
He's kind of dead, isn't he?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. And you know, speaking of which, we've lost a lot of people this year. It has been a tough year. And I have a really good question, and I really wanted to shout this out the other day. Why in the heck aren't the politicians dying? Why is it the good people that die? Right? The musicians, the actors, the do-gooders, and not everybody's out there that's a politician is bad. I don't mean that. But it seems like the schmucks and the jerky people don't die.
Well, I had a reading once by an important astrologist, Janet Hickox. Do you know her?
Yeah, I kind of live with her.
And in one of the readings, she said to me that this particular administration, and I have not been quiet about it at all. As anybody who has, looked at my posts and looked at this, and I refuse to, surmise how his end might come, although I have certain wishes. You had said to me, Jason, as much as you don't like it, this man is here to afford us with change. The change that is in the stars, the change that is supposed to be coming, the change blah, blah, blah. So why aren't these people dropping? I think the answer to that is, to be honest with you, is because we, for better or for worse, need change. And I'm not doing cartwheels over it on any level, because I am not saying should have somebody else had won, we would be in any better situation.
No, I think you're right.
I can say, though, that our electoral college failed us miserably. And I will go on the record saying that, because less than faithful in the prowess of our leadership.
Right, right.
Was that as politically correct as I've ever been?
That was pretty damn politically correct for a Jason thing. But you know what I find interesting in light of the 2 chapters that I talked to you about as far as the book Initiation is that I see now in a different way that these people outside of us are projections from inside of us. I don't know where that's going in terms of how I'm going to express that to people and what I'm learning from it. Like I said, I want to reread those chapters probably another umpteen times before I get it. And I will share that with everybody because it'll come out in one of those moments where I say something, you know, really brilliant and the sky falls and happens again in another century.
And that's another thing to tell the viewers out there. If you do read any of Elizabeth Hayek's information, if you are lucky enough to read Wisdom of the Tarot or Sexual Energy and Yoga, or any of the great theosophists, to be honest with you, you know, Leadbeater and any of these, you know, William Q. Judge, mind-blowing stuff, please know that this English is slightly, not like Shakespearean, like Chaucerian English, but the
more Victorian, turn of the century, of the last century.
Her writing is a little antiquated, so when Janet says, I need to go back and reread that, it's because it's like, wow, it's heavy stuff.
Yeah, you got to think, like, what did she say? Not only that, but it's packed with some pretty profound wisdom. And I read it over, and, you know, here's what happens to me when I read books sometimes, is that you read it, your whole world explodes, and there's this revelation that occurs, and then it settles in, and then you forget totally what the F you just read. And then you try to tell somebody about this revelation that you had or this aha or this epiphany, and it won't come out.
So what's the lesson there?
Let it settle. Let it settle. Take it in, and I don't know, that it was a personal revelation.
Record your revelation when it happens. Write down your revelation when it happens. It'll never be that fresh again, even if it's awkward. Later you can decant it and make sense of it. But people that are channeling like you, I tell them all the time, don't think that it doesn't have worth. Don't think that it get it on that mini recorder. Pick up your iPhone voice recorder. Hey, epiphany number 37D.
I have my trusty iPhone with my trusty notes. Ooh. And yeah, I could do that. But somehow,
I use the voice memo all the time.
Sometimes those kinds of revelations defy words, right? Defy even expressing it, that it has to
fill. Not with you. That's not with
in the moment. In the moment, you know, it's like seeing a picture in your head almost of something that you connect with in the moment, and then the picture is gone.
And why is that?
Well, because we think in pictures.
The soul, what?
I don't know.
You are listening to my show, damn it. The soul thinks in imagery.
Oh, yes. Well, that's basically what I just said. We think in pictures.
Yeah, but thinking is too much this, and I'm talking about your soul.
Yeah, well, same thing. Soul thinks in pictures as well. I get that, because if I say the word ice cream, you're not seeing the word ice cream written across your forehead or inside your eyes. You're seeing a picture of an ice cream or a bowl or a dish of ice cream or something like that. So it's true. We really do think in pictures. The pictures exploded around me into what the meaning of those 2 chapters were. I can't put it into words yet, but I will.
Thinking of exploded, I would love to know if you want to continue this conversation.
We're going to end this conversation. So from Jason and I, we want to wish you all a happy 2017. You will be hearing from us through 2017 to guide us through these explosions, epiphanies, etc.
I love you. Happy New Year.
I love you too. And,
we'll see you next year.
We'll see you next year. Bye.